Well, quite another interesting day as far as Maharashtra politics is concerned, and now it's not just a political battle but very much a legal one as well. The Supreme Court today gave the rebel MLAs of the Shiv Sena a breather by giving them another 2 weeks to reply to the disqualification notices that they've been sent by the Deputy Speaker of the Assembly. But the court has also said that it's not going to put a stop to any no trust vote that takes place in this 2-week period, which is what the Uddhav Thackeray government was seeking. So what happens now? Has the court given a lot of leeway to the rebels? What happens from here? We've got two legal minds joining us on this today. We have Dushyant Dave, Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court, and Mr. Satyapal Jain, Additional Solicitor General, also member of the BJP, joining us tonight. Thank you very much to both of you for being with us. Mr. Dave, how do you see today's Supreme Court action on this?
I think it's on expected lines. I don't think Supreme Court has done anything extraordinary or anything special, and I don't think that this is a victory for the rebels or this is a loss for the ruling coalition. I think what the Supreme Court has done is the right thing to do, because it is now examining the issue, and so long as it's examining the issue, the question of declaring the disqualification of the MLS doesn't arise. Likewise, I'm sure this also should mean that there should be a status quo so far as any other action is concerned, including any recommendation by the governor. So I think a status quo should be maintained by all sides, according to me, and till the Supreme Court now decides the issue. And that is how I look at it, because once the court is in scene of an issue as important as this, I think every side, whether it's the central government, whether it's the governor, whether it's the speaker, everybody must hold their hands. And I think that's what the Supreme Court order perhaps is suggesting.
Except that perhaps everybody will not hold back their next move, Mr. Satyapal Jain. Do you, Mr. Jain, anticipate that in fact this is an opportunity also for the rebels along with the BJP to push for a no confidence vote in the Assembly, which the Supreme Court said, by the way, it wasn't going to stop?
See, may I just clarify? I was present during the course of arguments in the Supreme Court today. So far as the first part is concerned, I totally agree with Mr. Dave that the order of the Supreme Court is on the expected line, because Supreme Court has already, in Arunachal Pradesh matter, has already said that if a no confidence motion against the Speaker or Deputy Speaker is pending, then he should not proceed with the disqualification petitions. Second legal issue involved is of the opportunity of hearing and the reasonable time which should be given to the rebel or so-called MLAs against whom notice has been issued. In the present case, it was just 2 days, and it was argued that this time is not reasonable. So the Supreme Court has extended this time up to 11th of July. But so far as the issue of no confidence motion or anything else is concerned, towards the fag end of the hearing, a request was made by a lawyer appearing for the other side that your lordship may restrain the other side for moving no confidence motion or trust motion, etc., etc. And their lordship did not pass any order, and they say, no, we are concerned with the issue that is before us, and we do not want to complicate the matters. So for whether it will be done or not is a different thing. But from my mind, as my interpretation of the law goes, there is no restraint on the other side to move a no confidence motion against the government or to call for a trust vote or proceed further in those matters. However, it is up to those parties concerned, whatever step they may take. The Supreme Court also clarified that in case anything illegal according to you is done, our doors are always open. So if there is any move and the other side feels that that move is illegal, they have a right to move that. But there is no restraint on the other side to move for no trust motion or trust motion or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Secondly, just 1.4.
Yeah.
See, so far as the present issue is concerned before the Supreme Court in 2 petitions, it is qua the disqualification of a few MLAs. So far as the trust vote is concerned, it is against the Chief Minister, against the government. So these are 2 different issues altogether.
So, Mr. Dave, if a no confidence motion, let's say, is called within the next 1 week or so, how would one, look at what the results of that would be, whichever way it goes? That's clearly going to be challenged as well legally, isn't it?
Well, I'm sure the Supreme Court will stay those proceedings as well, because I don't think the Supreme Court, I think, as I said earlier on your show, time has come for us to really, go into this issue in great depth and to really decide what we want. I mean, if we are going to accept on face value what the law, appears to be that floor test is the ultimate, litmus test, or that, the governor has certain powers to direct convening of the, assembly. I don't agree to that. In fact, during the Constituent Assembly, Dr. Ambedkar had very categorically said that governor has no power whatsoever except to act on the advice and aid of the Council of Ministers. So I don't think governor should really, I think dabble into this and, create a piquant situation when Supreme Court is hearing the matter. If anything happens, I would say, if they try to jump the gun, then I think the Supreme Court will, intervene and stay the proceedings next day, because this issue requires to be ultimately decided whether this kind of, MLA, we all are seeing that it's openly a game which is being played by the Bharatiya Janata Party. And I don't think this kind of a thing should really be encouraged by anybody, much less the legal system. I think the Supreme Court will have to review entirely, including the Bommai case, as to whether floor test alone is something which they should see, or something more is required to be done.
Mr. Dave, what else can they see in an elected assembly? Ultimately, the floor test, that is what was always considered sacrosanct. So what else can we see in a situation like this if, MLAs break away, governments, parties withdraw support? It happens. What else is there to see apart from a floor test?
Well, I am not, I feel that this 10th scheduled number of 2/3 people, you can hijack the whole, party. This is a mandate given by people. It has nothing to do with political color. The people have elected these people as representative of the Shiv Sena. And those people can't just, walk onto the floor of the assembly and vote against the Shiv Sena. If they want to do it, they are welcome. They must resign. They must face the election, come back and, unsettle the government. But so long as they have been voted by the people and so long as they are wearing the Shiv Sena robes, they can't be allowed to go against the party line at all, even if it is 2/3. I think the 10th schedule argument will have to be reconsidered by the court, looking to what is happening in this country. And it's an extremely sad commentary, because government after government is being pulled down in this fashion. We know that, money plays a very important role. All kinds of things are being talked about. We don't need that. We are a very mature democracy. We need to grow out of this. We need to do what, the Parliament in United Kingdom does, or the, Congress in United States does. We need to set new standards. We need a
Let me ask Mr. Satyapal Jain about that. Mr. Jain, would you agree that this is an opportunity? I know it's not going to happen maybe in our lifetimes, but can we at least start having a conversation about the system needing to change? And secondly, do you agree with Mr. Dave that it would be wrong for the governor to allow a trust vote to take place at this time?
Absolutely not. You see, let us not forget two basic principles of any democratic working: constitutional, legal, political, moral, everything. Basically, it is the fundamental principle that only a person who enjoys the confidence of the House could be, should be, and should be allowed to continue as the Chief Minister. Once you have lost majority support on the floor of the House, within your party, you have no right to continue as the Chief Minister. In the present case, the present CM has lost majority not only within the Vidhan Sabha, but he has lost majority even in his own party. So he has no right to continue as the Chief Minister. And if the governor asks him to prove his majority, he will be perfectly within his constitutional restraints. Number two, what I am saying is this: it's a very unique case. It's not a case that some people are leaving a party and joining the other party. For the first time, a case has come, so far as my knowledge of the law goes, where 2/3 majority of the legislature party of a political party are against the leader, not against the party. They want to change a leader. I'm putting a question to myself and to all other people. Can't a majority of the MLAs within a party, remaining within the party, request the party leadership to change the leader? See, you remember one thing. Even after the Lok Sabha elections, Vidhan Sabha elections, the MLAs meet, elect the leader, and then he is called by the governor to take oath. In the present case, out of 55 MLAs, 37 MLAs have said, we don't want Mr. So-and-so to be the leader, we want Mr. Shinde to be the leader. What is wrong in that? Which law are they violating? Within the party, there must be democracy. Is it democracy majority which has to take a decision? And majority is against the Mr. Uddhav as well as the Shiv Sena leader.
Mr. Dave, does Mr. Jain have a point there? I mean, it's a fair point that if the majority feel that he shouldn't be the leader, why should he continue?
Nobody can deny that the majority was governed because we are a democracy. I agree with Mr. Jain. But imagine a situation. Supposing an extraordinarily rich industrialist decides tomorrow to break down a government, offers each MLA 500 crores of rupees because he has got a kitty of 100,000 crores of rupees. I mean, do we want that kind of a situation? These arguments are completely hollow, according to me. Everybody is seeing who's behind it. Everybody is seeing who is luring these MLAs. We have seen it in Madhya Pradesh. We have seen it in Karnataka. They are flying these private jets. They are staying in 7-star hotels. Somebody is footing their bill. I mean, if you want money laundering cases to be launched, this is the ideal time to launch money laundering cases against them, not to arrest opposition leaders on bogus, trumped-up charges. So this is something which is really very sad and very shocking, which is happening. We are leading extraordinarily dangerous precedents by this. There will be nothing called democracy. I agree with Mr. Jain that majority must prevail. But majority which is of free will, majority which is not, brought by coercion, by allurement. I mean, Sham, Dam, Ved and Dand, everything is working openly. We are seeing, complete. And secondly, assuming it happens, the governor is bound to accept the recommendation of the Council of Ministers for dissolution. He can't go against that. That's what the Constitution says. So I think either way, we will have to then, everybody must face the music and go back to the people. Let the people decide that this kind of hypocrisy must end.
Forgive me, Mr. Jain is disagreeing as well. I actually thought that the governor wasn't necessarily bound to accept the recommendation for dissolution, Mr. Jain.
Legal position is, constitutional position is, if the recommendation to dissolve a house is made by a cabinet and the chief minister who enjoys the majority support, then the governor is bound by that. But if the chief minister doesn't enjoy the majority support, then the governor is not bound by his advice. Number two, Mr. Dave, you are saying that somebody may purchase MLAs by money and all that. Whom will you blame for that? These are the MLAs who were elected, given ticket by the party. Now, if the party give a ticket to those people who can be sold away, who can be purchased away, who can run away, who can be lured by money, ultimately fault lies with whom? घर का सिक्का अगर आपका खोटा निकले तो किसी को दोष क्यों दोगे?
That is why they must go back to people. They must go back to people.
Then let Mr. Uddhav Thackeray recommend the resolution of the House. What is stopping him? Let him go to the governor. He is not going. Even remaining in minority, he wants to remain in power.
He knows governor will not act constitutionally. That's the fear. I mean, we have seen all governors. We have seen all governors. Sorry, Mr. Jain.
Everything can't be done at the desire of Mr. Uddhav Thackeray.
Constitutionally.
Well, I have to leave it at that. I have to leave it at that, but I think it's clear that we're looking at a very, very messy, it's already a messy political story, but possibly a legally messy story as well. Thank you very much to both of you for joining us on NDTV.
I can only say it's a very sad saga.
Thank you.